Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to the Monday Night Raw review. And this was the go-home show for WrestleMania Backlash, which is this Sunday. And before I get into the review, I did get a chance to watch the throwback SmackDown, which aired on Friday. I DVR'd it, so I watched it yesterday. Didn't do a review on it, though. But the show was just a throwaway show, in my opinion. We had the SmackDown Fist in virtual CGI, which I thought that looked awful, in my opinion. I did like that we got the referees wearing the blue SmackDown referee shirts from back in the day, like around 2003, 2004, around there. So I like that. They brought back, the referees wearing the blue SmackDown shirts. But we had Cesaro. He ended up defeating Seth Rollins. Carmella ended up defeating Ruby Riott. Dominic Mysterio ended up defeating Dolph Ziggler. Who cares? Tamina versus Reginald. I'm like, why is Reginald in the ring competing with Tamina? I guess Reginald is part of the women's division. It was a nothing match. Reginald was doing Circus Soleil, doing flips. It was a Circus Soleil match, which ended in a disqualification because Tamina ended up winning by disqualification because Shayna Baszler ended up pushing her down off the top. And then we had a 10-man tag: Sami Zayn, Otis, Chad Gable, Apollo Crews, and Corbin. They end up winning the match by defeating Kevin Owens, Nakamura, Big E, and the Street Profits. So yeah, just a throwaway SmackDown it was. I just want to get my thoughts on the throwback edition of SmackDown. We're moving on to Monday Night Raw. As always, this show sucked. This show was a complete waste of time tonight. Nothing happened on this show. Nothing. What do we get on the show tonight? We had Sheamus versus Humberto Carrillo once again. Humberto Carrillo ended up getting injured. We had Jinder Mahal return to Monday Night Raw tonight. Yeah, Jinder Mahal returns, and you pretty much know how this show went when Jinder Mahal is on the show. We have Shelton Benjamin versus Cedric Alexander. Rhea Ripley versus Asuka once again. What is this, like the fourth time already? Damian Priest versus John Morrison. Did we see that last week? Why are we getting it again this week? Please tell me, Vince McMahon, Bruce Pritchard. Please ask me why we're getting Damian Priest and John Morrison yet again this week when we already saw it last week. And then in the main event, we saw Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley. Aren't these two guys in the main event at WrestleMania Backlash? Why are they having a match tonight? You already know how the match went. Neither of these guys couldn't take a loss. So I'll get to explaining that. But overall, this show was fucking terrible. This show fucking sucks. Every single week. But let's get right into the review. So, this Monday Night Raw go-home show for WrestleMania Backlash opened up, and it opened up shitty, in my opinion. Now, you already know when I said that this show opened up shitty. You already know how this show was going to be. I mean, you would think Monday Night Raw opened up with, something decent, something okay, something to get you interested in the show. But this is WWE we're talking about. This is Monday Night Raw we're talking about. But no, we didn't get anything decent or okay to open up the show tonight. We got Asuka, Dana Brooke, and Mandy Rose versus Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, and Charlotte Flair. Yeah, perfectly describes the match. This was absolute shit. So, we had Charlotte making her way out. Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax came out along with Reginald. And then Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke. Asuka came out. Mandy Rose started off with Nia Jax. They were both taunting each other. Nia Jax ended up grabbing Mandy Rose. Ended up missing a splash in the corner. Mandy Rose ended up swinging to drop Charlotte off the apron. Nia Jax ended up taking control of the match. She ended up leveling Mandy Rose in the corner. So Shayna Baszler ended up coming in, and she ended up bending Mandy Rose's arm back. So we had later on Reginald end up doing a Circus Soleil backflip off the apron. And we had Asuka, Dana Brooke, Mandy Rose, Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Charlotte. They were all arguing in the ring. And then Alexa Bliss was on the stage. Alexa Bliss was swinging on her swing. Lily was sitting right next to her, of course, on the other swing. So all 6 women in the ring were distracted by Alexa Bliss. So Alexa ended up saying that her and Lily are sorry for interrupting. And Alexa was like, oh, no, sorry. I am sorry for interrupting. But Lily is not. Alexa Bliss ended up saying that she and Lily wanted to come out and keep their eye on someone. So we all know who Alexa is keeping her eye out on. So Alexa Bliss ended up laughing, kept on swinging, and the 6 women were just looking on at Alexa from the ring, like, yeah, and then Monday Night Raw into commercial. So who knows who Alexa Bliss is having her eye on in Monday Night Raw's awful women's division? So then Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial. The match was still continuing. Charlotte was stomping away on Mandy Rose in the corner. Alexa Bliss and Lily were still watching from the stage. And we had Mandy Rose later on end up against a Samoan drop from Nia Jax. So at the end, Asuka, Dana Brooke, and Mandy Rose ended up winning the match. Asuka ended up coming in. Asuka ended up knocking Nia Jax off the apron. She ended up nailing the Shining Wizard to Shayna Baszler. And there you go. Asuka, Dana Brooke, and Mandy Rose end up winning the match. Post-match, Charlotte ended up coming into the ring. She ended up taking down Asuka from behind. She was standing tall. The referee was checking on Asuka. So Charlotte's music ended up hitting. And then just Alexa Bliss and Lily were just laughing from the stage. And that was that. Did you all care for this match? I know I didn't. It was a shit match. Boring. So then we saw the New Day backstage. Matt Riddle ended up riding on a scooter. Matt Riddle ended up thanking the New Day for registration forms because Matt Riddle ended up saying that RK Bro will be an official tag team in a few weeks. Kofi ended up saying that it's a little known fact that every tag team must fill out a registration form, unlike Styles and Omos, which Kofi ended up calling both of them frauds. So they go on talking about tomatoes. Of course, we got to talk about tomatoes. It's been 3 weeks since they were throwing the tomatoes. So Matt Riddle and the New Day end up thinking Orton getting hit by tomatoes last week was funny because Randy Orton ended up appearing there. Randy Orton ended up disagreeing. And he ended up saying that he thinks ending careers and killing legends, kicking people in the head, and setting things on fire are funny. Orton went on to say that he will see them out there. So that was that. So then we saw MVP. MVP was knocking on Braun Strowman's door backstage, and MVP just automatically walked into Strowman's room. Strowman was shown talking to a staffer. He ended up turning around. Strowman ended up telling MVP to get the hell out of his room. So MVP ended up saying to Strowman that he came to discuss business. But Strowman wasn't interested. MVP then told Strowman to hear him out. So MVP was saying to Strowman that Lashley didn't beat him last week. McIntyre did. So Strowman was shown starting to lose his patience. MVP wanted to say that Lashley isn't going to lose the WWE Championship. But if he did, he'd rather lose it to Strowman. MVP then ended up bringing up how it would be Strowman versus Lashley if McIntyre were to suffer an injury later tonight. So Strowman was just fuming. Strowman ended up saying that he really doesn't like MVP. MVP ended up saying that he understands and says a lot of people don't. But don't take this personal. MVP just told Strowman that, oh, this is just business. So then he left Strowman's room. And so that was that. So then we saw Adam Pearce talking to Damian Priest. The Miz and Morrison end up walking in. Pearce end up calling them to talk about an idea that Damian Priest had. So Morrison end up saying to Adam Pearce that he has a better idea. And this all led to Damian Priest saying that if John Morrison beats him tonight, Morrison gets to pick the stipulation for The Miz versus Damian Priest at WrestleMania Backlash. But if Damian Priest beats Morrison, Damian Priest ends up picking the stipulation for the match at WrestleMania Backlash. So Miz wasn't too thrilled with this idea, and Morrison ended up interrupting the Miz, and he ended up saying they accept. Miz wasn't happy about that, and Morrison ended up saying that he is confident that he can beat Damian Priest. So that was that. So we got the match once again later on in the night. Same match that we saw last week, but if I win the match, I pick the stipulation. Or if Damian Priest wins the match, he picks the stipulation. Same shit match that we saw last week. And then we go to Jinder Mahal backstage. Jinder Mahal's back on Monday Night Raw, and I can hear the remotes being picked up and the ratings dropping. Jinder Mahal ended up saying nothing smells better than fresh competition. And he's excited and happy to be back on Monday Night Raw. I'm sure the fans are not happy. And Jinder Mahal ended up saying that he's not alone. So he ends up introducing his two new guys, Veer and Shanky. What? Who? So Jinder ended up saying that he will be reminding everyone why he was once WWE champion. And I know all of us would like to forget the time that Jinder Mahal was a WWE champion. He basically killed that title when he was on SmackDown. That was such an awful, dark time for SmackDown when Jinder Mahal was the WWE champion. Awful run. He was one of the worst WWE champions of all time. And then we had Jinder Mahal come out with Veer and Shanky. They ended up going into the ring, and Monday Night Raw went to commercial. Then when Monday Night Raw came back, we had the match Jinder Mahal versus Jeff Hardy. Oh my God. If you all thought Jeff Hardy won this match, think again. This match was absolutely fucking terrible. Jinder Mahal wins the match. He locks in the Colossus on Jeff Hardy. That was that. Jinder Mahal ends up winning. Awful fucking match. Jeff Hardy should just be on his way out of WWE. Jeff Hardy, get out there, get out of WWE, and join your brother Matt in AEW. This was embarrassing for Jeff Hardy. Losing to a jobber like Jinder Mahal. Absolutely fucking awful. So then we saw Jaxson, Ryker, and Elias. They were talking about them getting payback tonight. Jaxson Ryker had a basket full of tomatoes. Once again with the tomato shit. So Styles and Omos ended up walking up. Elias ended up playing a song about them getting revenge. Styles ended up interrupting and he ended up saying that there will be no tomatoes tonight. So he ended up going on, he ended up telling Ryker and Elias that they are teaming with him and Omos tonight. So take things serious. Omos then ended up grabbing a tomato and he ended up squeezing the tomato with his hand. Styles ended up saying that they hate tomatoes. So that was that. Then we had Matt Riddle and Randy Orton and the New Day versus Styles, Omos, Elias, and Jaxson Ryker. And this was an okay tag match here. This was an okay 8-man tag. Matt Riddle ended up making his way to the ring. And then we had Randy Orton come out. And we got the New Day, Kofi and Xavier Woods coming out. And then out came Elias, Jaxson Ryker, and Styles and Omos. So the match started off with Elias and Matt Riddle. Elias ended up blocking a takedown. Riddle ended up taking Elias down. And he scrambled to block an armbar. Ryker ended up coming in. Riddle ended up taking him down. Riddle then ended up kicking Ryker, started taunting him. Omos got in. And Omos ended up tossing Matt Riddle away. Omos ended up catching a kick, and he ended up flipping Matt Riddle onto his back. Xavier Woods ran in. Omos knocked Xavier Woods out of the ring, and Kofi ended up coming in. Omos did the same thing, knocked Kofi out of the ring. So Omos then ended up grabbing Riddle. He launched Riddle down into the corner. Omos was staring at Randy Orton. Orton ended up rolling out to the floor to, regroup. And then Monday Night Raw went to commercial. Then when Monday Night Raw came back, we saw Elias was working on Matt Riddle. Elias started unloading with kicks in the corner to Riddle. Jaxson Ryker ended up coming in. Ryker and Elias ended up double teaming on Matt Riddle. Ryker ended up slamming Riddle back, and he ended up taking in Styles. Styles went for the cover, which Riddle ended up kicking out of 2. So Styles was taunting, the New Day and Randy Orton. Styles ended up grabbing Matt Riddle. Riddle ended up fighting back, but Styles ended up just punching him. Riddle blocked the suplex from Styles. And Kofi ended up coming in. Kofi started unloading on Styles. Xavier Woods came in, and they both double teamed on Styles. Woods ended up taking Styles down for a 2 count. At the end of the match, we had Randy Orton ended up delivering the RKO out of nowhere on Elias. Orton went for the cover. And there you go. Randy Orton, Matt Riddle, and The New Day, Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, ended up winning the match. Post-match, Orton ended up dropping Xavier Woods with the RKO. And then Randy Orton ended up hitting the RKO to Kofi. Matt Riddle couldn't believe it. So Matt Riddle ended up having some words with Randy Orton. Orton ended up getting out of the ring. And that was that. But overall, this was an okay 8-man tag, in my opinion. So then we had Sonya Deville. Sonya Deville ended up calling Rhea Ripley into our office. Asuka ended up walking in. Sonya Deville ended up saying that we are going to resolve this peacefully. She ended up saying that these two have been at each other's throats for weeks. And she was given an idea. And that she likes it. So once again, Sonya Deville ends up making Asuka versus Rhea Ripley for later on tonight. For the 4th time, we've seen Asuka and Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley ended up asking, who came up with this idea? Rhea Ripley, may I answer that? Maybe, Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard came up with the idea because they just want to give us the same fucking match again. So Rhea Ripley ended up wondering if this is Charlotte's idea. So they will be beat up at WrestleMania Backlash. Asuka ended up saying that she's already been in the ring once tonight. And that she will do it again because she's ready for Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley ended up saying that she will beat Asuka like she did at WrestleMania. And that Charlotte could scheme all she wants. And that it won't stop what is happening at WrestleMania Backlash this Sunday. So there you go. I think for the 4th time, Asuka versus Rhea Ripley. So then we saw MVP and Bobby Lashley backstage with Kevin Patrick. MVP was hyping up Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley ended up telling Kevin Patrick that he is going to beat Drew McIntyre again later on in the main event. Kevin Patrick then asked Bobby Lashley and MVP about a potential attempt to make the WWE Championship match at WrestleMania Backlash a singles match with him and Strowman. MVP told Kevin Patrick, we don't comment on business negotiations, unlike this interview, are ongoing. So MVP ended up telling Kevin Patrick to beat it. Lashley ended up waving him off. And that was that. And then we went back to the ring. Sheamus was in the ring. Sheamus got on the mic. Sheamus ended up going on about how he took care of both Humberto Carrillo and Mansoor, showing why he's the best fella on the planet. Sheamus then went on about not wanting to follow in the footsteps of United States champions before him, when he could create his own legacy. So Sheamus ended up saying that Mansoor and Humberto Carrillo have another thing coming if they think they'll get their grubby little hands on his United States Championship. Sheamus ended up saying that Mansoor and Carrillo are great athletes, but they both are not on his level. So Sheamus ended up saying that Humberto Carrillo is going to try to earn a shot at the United States Championship and earn Sheamus's respect. But the only thing he's going to get is a bro kick to the head. So Sheamus then called out Humberto Carrillo, and then out came Humberto. So we got Sheamus versus Humberto Carrillo, and the match started. Both of them go at it. Humberto Carrillo ended up taking Sheamus down. Sheamus then leveled Humberto Carrillo with a shoulder. Sheamus then blocked the hip toss from Humberto, and Humberto ended up mounting some offense, ended up sending Sheamus out to the floor. Humberto then drop kicked Sheamus to the floor, and he ends up going out of the ring, but Sheamus ended up decking Humberto in midair. Sheamus then ended up launching Humberto over into the Timekeeper's area, and then Monday Night Raw went to commercial. So then when Monday Night Raw came back from commercial, Sheamus was pounding on Humberto in the middle of the ring, and Sheamus ended up taking Humberto to the apron, delivered the 10 beats of the Bodan. Sheamus ended up, of course, doing the smile, the Dublin smile, where he just stretches his opponent's mouth to make them smile. And Humberto Carrillo ended up fighting out. He ended up rocking Sheamus with a jawbreaker. Match got called by the referee because Humberto Carrillo and Sheamus were both unable to recover from the powerbomb. So the match ended in a no contest. So post-match, Sheamus had his arm raised, and of course he retains his United States Championship. So there you go. That was that. But overall, same thing. Same fight from Sheamus and Humberto. So then we saw Adnan Virk. He sent us to a vignette looking at the Lucha House Party, Gran Metalik, and Lince Dorado. And the Lucha House Party are reintroducing themselves. They end up saying that they are always ready to show out and show off. And they are always Lucha lit. Who cares? Who cares? Now we had Shelton Benjamin versus Cedric Alexandra. And we had Cedric Alexandra come out to the ring first. And as you know, last week, Cedric ended up splitting from Shelton Benjamin. So, of course, this week, both these guys do battle. So, Monday Night Raw went to commercial when Cedric ended up coming out. And then when Monday Night Raw came back, we had a Eva Marie Evolution vignette. The same thing that aired last week. Who fucking cares? Who cares about Eva Marie? So then, we went back to the ring. Shelton Benjamin ended up coming out. Shelton Benjamin ended up coming to the ring. Both him and Cedric Alexandra ended up having some words. Match ended up starting with Cedric ended up shoving Shelton Benjamin. He's talking trash to Shelton Benjamin. Benjamin ended up taking control, but Cedric ended up hitting him from behind. They went back and forth. Cedric nailed the drop kick to Shelton Benjamin. Cedric ended up blocking the pay dirt from Shelton Benjamin. And then he ended up hitting a dragon screw leg whip on the apron to Shelton Benjamin. Cedric then manhandled Benjamin on the mat. Shelton ended up fighting back out of the corner. Cedric ended up taking Benjamin down by the leg, ended up applying a heel hook. So, at the end of the match, we had Shelton Benjamin get the win. Shelton Benjamin ended up hitting the T-bone suplex on Cedric Alexandra. And that was that. Shelton Benjamin ended up winning the match. Just a very meh match it was. And now we had Angel Garza backstage. Angel Garza was doing a photo shoot. Drew Gulak ended up interrupting Garza. Ended up asking Garza if this is all a big joke to him. And if Garza has respect for their profession. Or if he's just busy with his photo shoots, trying out for the next season of The Bachelor. So Gulak ended up saying what Garza did last week has never been done in the company, and that he embarrassed and humiliated Gulak. Garza ended up threatening to do it again, but Gulak ended up saying that there won't be a next time. So Angel Garza ended up telling Drew Gulak, maybe next time he's going to shove the rose down Drew Gulak's throat. So that was that. Looks like we're going to be getting more of Garza and Gulak. Who cares? Asuka versus Rhea Ripley. Same match with these two. Nothing different that happened in this match. We had Charlotte end up coming out later on to do commentary. And man, what was it awful. Not only did we have to listen to Charlotte, we also had to listen to Adnan Virk, who is also terrible on commentary. So I had to listen to both of them, which it was just awful commentary with them. So Charlotte on commentary admitted that she asked Sonya Deville to make this match. Oh, God. So the match ended with Rhea Ripley ended up winning. Rhea Ripley ended up nailing the Riptide on Asuka. So that was that. But same old shit with Asuka and Rhea Ripley. What was so different than the other times that we saw them in the ring? Same thing. Nothing different. Now we had Kevin Patrick backstage with Drew McIntyre. Kevin Patrick was asking Drew McIntyre why he attacked Bobby Lashley and Braun Strowman last week. McIntyre ended up telling Kevin Patrick that he had no plans to get involved. But he got involved when Strowman ended up putting his hands on him. But McIntyre ended up saying that it was his pleasure to deliver Claymore kicks to both Strowman and Bobby Lashley. McIntyre ended up saying that he heard about the plan to team up on him tonight. And if it happens, he's toast. But he can't worry about that. McIntyre ended up saying that he's going to do the one thing he couldn't do at WrestleMania. And as connect with the Claymore to get the win over Bobby Lashley. And take back the WWE Championship Sunday at WrestleMania Backlash. So that was what McIntyre had to say. Then we had Damian Priest versus John Morrison. Same old shit. Nothing different in this match. Damian Priest ended up winning. Damian Priest ended up hit the lights on Morrison. Damian Priest wins. That was that. Post-match, Miz ended up hitting the ring, started unloading on Damian Priest. Damian Priest ended up blocking the skull-crushing finale from the Miz. He ended up going to kick the Miz, but Miz ended up retreating out of the ring. So Damian Priest ended up grabbing John Morrison. Damian Priest delivered another hit the lights on Morrison. Miz was shown looking on from the stage. And now that Damian Priest ended up winning the match, he gets to pick the stipulation for his match with The Miz at WrestleMania Backlash this Sunday. So that was that. But same old shit from Damian Priest and John Morrison. When we saw it last week, nothing was different in this rematch that we saw tonight. Nothing. Then we saw a new vignette with Eva Marie. So not only did we see the same vignette that we saw last week with Eva Marie, we had a new vignette from Eva Marie. God, do they want us to suffer? Do they want us to fucking suffer and see Eva Marie? And the first vignette with Eva Marie from last week was like, oh, do I have your attention? Where she was just sitting on the Ferrari. I was like, no, The Ferrari has my attention more than you. So Eva Marie, in this new vignette, she was at a photo shoot. Eva Marie ended up talking about seeing levels of fame and fortune she never imagined at the beginning of her career. She ended up saying that some people see her as a supermodel, but she likes to see herself as a super role model. What? A super role model? Do we all remember how awful Eva Marie was in the ring? We all would like to forget that. So Eva Marie ended up saying that she has had everything she ever wanted, and she wants others to see their wildest dreams come true as well. But they have to be willing to put in the work. She wants to say that everybody wants that one perfect picture, but they don't realize that it takes 99 bad ones to get there. She ended up saying that life is not picture perfect, but anything's possible. And of course it said, evolution coming soon. And, with this whole evolution thing, doesn't it remind us of, Emulation with Emma from years ago, which was a failure? Yeah, we all want to forget that. God. Eva Marie, hopefully she stays out of the ring. I just want to see Eva Marie be a manager. Because if she gets in the ring, and I said this last week, if WWE lets Eva Marie get into the ring and have matches, it's going to be my bathroom break every single week. And whenever she comes out, not only will it be a bathroom break, but some weeks it'll be a channel changer for me. I will literally change the channel. Don't want to see Eva Marie in the ring. Then we saw Adam Pearce backstage. Adam Pearce was backstage. Damian Priest ended up walking in to see him. So Damian Priest ended up picking his stipulation for his match with The Miz on Sunday at WrestleMania Backlash. So Damian Priest ended up saying that he wants this stipulation where The Miz can't run away. So Damian Priest ended up choosing the stipulation, and it's a lumberjack match. It's going to be a lumberjack match. Damian Priest versus The Miz this Sunday at WrestleMania Backlash. Damian Priest said he is ready to deal with The Miz. So Adam Pearce ended up agreeing, and he ended up making the match. Great. Are you all excited for this match? I know I ain't. So then we had the main event. Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre. This main event was absolutely worthless. And why do I say worthless? It's because these two guys were in the ring before. They are in the main event at WrestleMania Backlash. So, do you all realize that WWE booking this match and seeing it was a waste of time? Because neither Bobby Lashley or Drew McIntyre could have took a loss tonight. So we had Drew McIntyre win the match by disqualification. We all know where this match was going to go. So we had Drew McIntyre end up delivering the Claymore to Bobby Lashley. He doesn't go for the pin. So then Braun Strowman's music ended up hitting. Braun Strowman ended up coming out. Drew McIntyre's looking at Braun Strowman while he walks out. So Braun Strowman ended up attacking from behind. Referee ended up calling for the match, which ended in disqualification, which Drew McIntyre ended up winning by disqualification. Strowman ended up delivering the running power slam to McIntyre. So Strowman ended up helping Lashley up. Lashley was thinking, oh, Braun Strowman is with him. So he's all smiling. Lashley then ended up hugging Strowman. And then Strowman turned it around, scooped Lashley up, and delivered the running power slam. So Strowman then delivered a second power slam to McIntyre. Lashley was shown stumbling to the floor. He was near MVP. And they were right in front of the announce table. Strowman ended up blocking a cane shot from MVP. So Strowman ended up saying, instead of dropping MVP, he's going to make MVP watch him take Bobby Lashley out. So Strowman ended up scooping Lashley up, and Strowman ended up driving Lashley through the barricade with a power slam. So Strowman ended up coming back to the ring, started yelling in McIntyre's face. Strowman then ended up delivering a third running power slam to McIntyre, and Strowman just stood tall. He ripped off his shirt, and we saw MVP tending to Bobby Lashley at ringside. And then Strowman was just standing tall in the ring as the Monday Night Raw go-home show for WrestleMania Backlash went off the air. Overall, this was a worthless main event, where two of these guys are in the main event of WrestleMania Backlash, where neither guy could have took a loss in this match tonight. So you all know what they were going to do. My God, this show sucks. Nothing happened on this show tonight. Absolute waste of a go-home show. There's nothing for me to look forward to on WrestleMania Backlash besides maybe Bianca Belair versus Bayley. And Roman Reigns versus Cesaro. But we all know how that's going to go. Roman's going to retain the title. But still, that could be a decent match there. You know, it's Cesaro in it. Everything else on the WrestleMania Backlash card, besides those two matches, I don't care for. So, that's it for the Monday Night Raw review. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this review. Definitely give the video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe. There will be no Dynamite review this Wednesday. So it'll possibly be up on Friday. So expect a double upload on Friday with Dynamite and SmackDown. So until then, I'll see you all later.